us sports moms have something to say.
Yes, we do.
We'll have a chance to interview across the board, from athletes to the parents to the coaches to even the trainers.
And we're not afraid to share our journey. We're not afraid to tell other moms what we went through in order to raise up a student athlete. So I believe that it's inspirational.
We able to tell our story, the good and the bad.
We can give back positive information.
Absolutely.
You know, we can empower them.
Yes, I think it's time for the mothers to be a voice.
Yes.
That's it.
It's time for us to let you know what's going on.
Hey, what's up? This is Karen at Can We Talk Sports, and I'm here with my host, Kawashika. I'm here with my host, so y'all got to work on that. Go ahead, Kawash.
Yes. Hey. This is your girl, Kawashika.
Girl, what you been doing?
Looking pretty. No, just
I know that's right. That hair is on fire. It looks good. That red
you.
looks good on you.
Thank you, Miss Karen. You ought to try it.
Ooh. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
You can do
I
it.
feel this gray so long. I just don't know I don't know how I would even feel if I had another color.
You need to surprise your husband. Hey.
That would be a surprise. That's the kind of stuff you do on an anniversary.
Right.
Once every now and then.
Well, go get that wig in the pumps. Red pumps. Let's do this.
Right, girl. So, girl, today me and there was a camp going on in the DFW area in McKinney, Texas, and me and Irisha, the other sports mom, we went live. It was hot, 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 but it was a football clinic for the high school players who are, just still trying to stay relevant, still trying to work out. There was a lot of kids there. Got a chance to share our cards with some of the moms, letting them know that sports mom got a talk show, and so it was pretty good. So, how was your weekend?
It was amazing. I got to meet my friend and co-host today for dinner or lunch. Miss Karen.
Excuse me.
We've been talking about doing things new, and I'm still on that. So the restaurant that you took us to was very new for me. I cannot pronounce the name of those.
Okay. Don't worry about
it. I'm not gonna do it, but they was new for me, and so that was fun. I enjoyed, us sitting down and talking, and talking about new things that we're about to do.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. I like that the fact that we're trying to step out the box and come up with some new things. I still have to do my swimming. I reached out to her, I guess, Abby. And so she was like, I can't wait to hear about you going into the swimming pool. And then here, Kawashika, I told my husband about what Abby challenged me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And because he's always on me about swimming, he's going to say, well, if you're going to do that for her, then you need to, this is what I want you to do for me. I want you to put your head in the water for 10 seconds. I said, what?
Mr. Reese he's hilarious.
You're going to have to be there for me to do that. We're going to do that. Put my head, as long as I can feel my foot at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and I just hold my head up under the water. But I'm gonna do it. I said I would love to go live with Abby on the phone so she can see me, and I'll be like,
Right. You can
so
do it. You can do it. You can do it. I promise you. It's not hard. I mean, it may be a challenge, but think of something positive and just let's go.
is that what I'm about to do?
You know,
probably
hold your nose.
like
Because
breathing.
you're gonna hold your nose
Uh
and you're gonna think of something real, real positive.
huh. Oh, that's what I'm gonna do, huh?
That's it. I'm telling you. And take them glasses off.
Oh,
Let's go to work.
okay. Well, that's gonna be exciting. Sports fans, you guys, I'm gonna invite you along when I try to do the first step of learning how
How
to
to swim.
swim. So us sports moms, we are trying new things.
Right.
So busy with doing things to our kids and stuff. So now we're trying to be adventurous and doing things to
Right.
watch her get her crab, those funny looking legs. And I'm gonna do my swimming, learning how to swim.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I
I
am
want to go.
still
I want
off.
to do bungee jumping or something too.
Oh hell no. Oh, I'm not doing that. I am. You talking about out the plane or off the side of a mountain? Which one?
Not a plane. Not a plane. Probably like those places that have that.
The
Bungee
ones
jumping.
indoors you climb up some rocks.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's start. Let's go beginners first, and then we'll go from there. Not no plane. No sir.
I
No ma'am.
probably wouldn't even be able to climb up that rock. I'm gonna find something else.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you
Something.
discover.
Yeah, something that takes away the fear. Like,
Mm.
that's what I'm thinking of. Like things that you would not normally do. And so you may have fear in this area, but if you conquer this over here, I'm pretty sure if I can do this, I can do that.
Right.
It will take that place. And so that's my mindset. I'm thinking like, so something I never done, bungee jumping, I'm 41. I don't know how that'll make me feel, but if I can do that, then I can beat this over here, you know?
Right.
So I think that's what it is for me, trying new things and I just really, I feel like I'm behind, but then I'm not, with the crab thing. You was like, I ain't did it either. I was like, oh, okay. But that's what it is. So swimming now, I can help you with swimming.
You know what? One of my other, and I'm so excited with our guest because I looked on his Facebook page and he's talking a lot about vegetarian. He's saying no meat and stuff. So I'm going to ask him about those posts. And so if he's a vegetarian, a vegan, I'm gonna that is a challenge for me because my husband is always telling me I don't eat enough vegetables. And so that might be my next challenge is to eat more vegetables. Like I have some squash in the refrigerator and I may make it for my husband, but I ain't eating no squash. And so I think that might be another challenge for me is to eat some vegetables. So we're going to ask our guest about if he's a vegan or if he's just posting the stuff for vegan. So we're going to talk about that. But we are excited to have on the show tonight. We have Coach Lee. He is a basketball consultant. He has worked with the NBA in India. He has a long resume. So we are excited to invite to the show Coach Lee.
Vào tháng 6 của năm 2018 thì giải bóng rổ chuyên nghiệp Việt Nam VBA mới quay trở lại. Lúc này thì huấn luyện viên Lee Tao Dana của Thăng Long Warriors cũng đang có mặt tại Việt Nam để tận hưởng bầu không khí năm mới, và bên cạnh đó thì ông cũng đã có những chia sẻ cho những kế hoạch tương lai với đội đương kim vô địch của giải VBA.
Tôi vẫn nhớ những ngày đầu tới Thăng Long Warriors. Mọi thứ không hề dễ dàng, nhưng với các cầu thủ tốt, tôi cảm thấy rất vững tâm để xây dựng câu lạc bộ từ ngày đầu. Ở mùa giải mới, tôi sẽ chú trọng vào việc phát triển và cân bằng giữa các cầu thủ nội và ngoại. Nhiều cầu thủ nội còn nói với tôi rằng trước đó họ chưa bao giờ có huấn luyện viên nào, nhưng mới qua một mùa thôi, họ đã chuyên nghiệp hơn nhiều. Mặc dù vô địch mùa giải đầu tiên, nhưng chúng tôi luôn nói với mình phải cố gắng. Hiện tại tôi đang nghỉ ngơi vài ngày, sau đó sẽ bắt tay vào tìm cầu thủ mới. Jaewon Hill đang thi đấu tại Canada. Chúng tôi cùng chờ xem anh ấy muốn ký hợp đồng nữa hay không. Một số cầu thủ nội khác như Văn Hùng hay Tô Quang Trung phải đưa ra quyết định sớm. Bên cạnh VBA, chúng tôi cũng sẽ tìm hiểu để tham gia các giải quốc tế như Hà Nội Buffalo hay Sài Gòn Heat đang làm. Ở thời điểm này, chưa có quá nhiều điều để nói. Tôi chỉ dự định tận hưởng cảm giác năm mới tại Hà Nội một cách thoải mái nhất.
Chúc mừng năm mới Việt Nam.
Hello,
Ladies, hi.
Hey, Coach Lee, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Good to be here.
We are
I've-
so
I've been
glad
following
to
the
have
show. I've seen many coaches, so it's my honor to be on here. Thank you.
Thank you. That is so awesome. I remember we had a previous schedule, and I think you were in India, and
Right.
I think you was telling me about the electricity or something going in and out. And now you are in the States. You're in Chicago. So tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us about your transitioning back to the States.
Well, I haven't lived in the States for about 8 years. I've been traveling around the world coaching and doing various projects. So coming back, I feel like a foreigner a little bit. It's a little bit different, but even with everything going on, it's still good to be back. It's been a long time.
So give us a little bit about your background. I see that you are a basketball consultant with the NBA. Currently, you were currently working in India. So kind of tell us about that and tell us about what you're doing right now.
Okay. Yeah, I was with the NBA India in conjunction with the junior NBA program and a couple of entities in India. And we were scouting, mostly looking for talent in India, putting together tournaments, giving coaching clinics, things of that nature. And in the past year and a half, I've been in Mexico and Japan, and you played the video of Vietnam. So I've been around a little bit. And now I'm just back in the States trying to settle in a little bit with the pandemic and all. I got a evacuation flight out of India, and I was actually in lockdown for 3 months, like stuck. And but I got back, so it's good to be back here. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. India is a different world. So.
Oh, and you said 3 months. And so we've been complaining about locked up here in for 3 months, but you were in India.
Well, I was doing my monk thing. I was living like, I'm actually, besides coaching, I'm coming out of the closet, but I'm also a Zen priest. So when I was in India, I was like meditating every day, and it was really locked down. I was alone. It was really like a lockdown situation. Couldn't go anywhere for at least 2 months. Just trying to get a little bit of food. Yeah, it was challenging though, but I got to practice a lot of meditation.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. So
Trying to turn it positive.
Oh, right.
I hold my breath like swimming and try positive thoughts. I try to do like that.
Yes, it works.
Yeah,
That's
try
right.
that. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a Coach Lee. So I have a
Yes, ma'am.
question for you. So you have a master's degree in Asian studies
It's
and
Asian studies, but focused on Buddhism, on Buddhist history. Because like I said, I'm a Zen guy, I'm a Buddhist guy. So I did my master's focusing on like history of Buddhism. So I've been practicing that for a minute. It's been a while.
Wow. So, how did you get into basketball? Tell us about your history in basketball. I mean, did you play basketball? How did you get into coaching? Just tell us about that journey.
Okay. I think kind of typical. I went up the ranks. Like I, played in high school, and I got hurt in high school. I thought I was going to go to Notre Dame. I got hurt, went to small college. Then I played professionally in Canada. And then while I was playing, I was really interested in coaching. I like the X and O's and, drawing up plays and things like that. So soon after that, I got a job coaching a high school team, girls, and then a boys high school team. And then I did junior college and then professional. So I kind of went up the ranks a little bit, step by step. And then the last few years or several years, I've been coaching like internationally, like I said, a lot in Asia, around Thailand and Vietnam and places like that. But, next it might be Europe. So depending on what happens with, basketball in the world with the coronavirus and everything. So, but I went up the ranks and slow process, basically steady process.
So, how did you go from, being here in the United States and then going to another country and doing that? You said you went to Canada, but how did you get into India? How was that slow ranks? Did you meet somebody and they told somebody about you and then you ended up here? How did that all work?
All right. Well, I was coaching junior college basketball in California, and basketball is, at least for me, is like I throw everything into it. So I put a lot of time into it and sleeping on the office floor every night, that kind of thing, trying to recruit players. So, so after this one season, I thought for the first time in about maybe 4 years, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take at least a couple of weeks and take a break. And I met a man in California. He asked me to go to Korea and just go over and observe and so see what's happening over there. So I thought, opportunity to go to another country, which to me, where I grew up, not ashamed to say I was really poor. I grew up East Coast, never dreamed I would go to another country, let alone like Korea. So I got a chance to go. It was free. So I went and observed, and I got into teaching. I was teaching English a little bit. And then people heard about my background as a player a little bit. So people asked me, hey, can you coach these little kids? Can you coach this high school team? Can you coach here and there? So I just started like that. But it was really meeting a man in California. He just like, hey, you want to take a trip? So it's kind of luck in a way.
Yeah.
But great experience going to see different countries and how people live is really, really interesting. It's like an education in itself. So I learned a lot. Really, really interesting experience.
Well, luck or your passion, I mean, your purpose, how this is turned into, how many years have you been doing this?
I think it's like 18 or 19 years.
18 and 19 years. So it was a journey for you and it took you there. Oop, I just swallowed a cough drop real hard. But
don't die on air. I'll feel very guilty.
Right. So
don't choke on air.
Right. Tell us about the difference with players from the United States versus the players that are from Korea and India, and tell us the difference between the type of players.
Okay. Well, a lot of it has to do with the culture, right? So a lot of American players, they're confident in their abilities, and they go to these teams where there's only like 2 or 3, maybe foreign players, 2 or 3 Americans on these teams. So they go over there expecting, and we're expecting them to we say put up numbers. They need to score for us and rebound and all that. Whereas a lot of times the local players, say let's say Korea, China, whatever, a lot of those players are more like role players, and the Americans usually are you know, maybe Division I universities, Division II, could be Division III, whatever. But those guys are like our main guys. Those guys are, you know, have the ball a lot. So, but culturally, I think it's kind of a stereotype, but a lot of the cultures in Asia, they don't want to be at the forefront a lot of times. They're okay with being a role player. And the Americans, they're like, oh no, I'll be the man on this team. I have no problem with that. So it works out pretty well, but it's a difference between like your star players being Americans and then role players usually.
So is that a clash? I mean, is it first when our players, the American players, go over there and are trying to dominate and them, you know, them and their culture and sports? Is it friction? Like, okay, you're coming over here to our world and trying to
Yeah.
run it. Is there friction with the players right out, you know, in the beginning?
I mean, everybody pretty much knows the deal, how things are supposed to go. And my job as a coach is to make sure we don't, you know, to smooth those things over so we don't have that kind of friction. So when we have a guy come in, I'll give you an example. I was coaching in this one country, and a player flew in, and but he was stuck in the airport and everything. It was like 2-day trip to fly. And when he arrived, I said, hey, for the first practice, you know, just chill, take it easy, just observe. You know, I know you're tired from your flight. I want you to take a day or 2 to get over jet lag or whatever. So he was sitting down watching, and one player walked up to him and said, hey, you need to practice with us, and blah, blah, you know. And, you know, just because you're an import player doesn't mean you're special. You know, he took that attitude. So, you know, it's my job to make sure, like, I got to kind of squash that a little bit. So I explained to the players, hey, look, he just flew and stuck in airports for 2 days. I told him that he needs to relax. I told him not to practice today. But everything, like, you have to have a lot of good open communication. And I like to consider myself like a player's coach. I know what it's like playing. So as long as there's good communication, everybody knows, you know, you lay everything out on the table, what you want as a coach. Everybody knows the deal. Usually people are okay with it. So I only had problems in one country I can think of. And, you know, sometimes you got to deal with egos. It happens. But I've been lucky. I've been lucky where I've had really good teams. That video you showed, like, that was a special team. But usually the relationships are like what's fun about coaching anyway. So I haven't had too many problems. One country I did last year was the first time, which I knew would happen sooner or later, right? But most of the time it's cool. Everything's okay.
Now, what are you saying to the mamas? Because here's my baby finna go to a whole nother country, a place they never seen before. What are you saying to the mamas and the daddies to help smooth over, you know, this player making this type of, you know, transition? I mean,
yeah.
How do you do that?
It's a big transition. Like, your first time going abroad to play, it's you know, it's going to be culture shock. Players are going to miss their families. Some players, especially veteran players, might, you know, have a spouse, might have a couple kids. So it's a big deal. It is. It's a lot. But I don't really communicate with parents because I coach men. So I'm dealing with men. But I talk with them a lot about the culture, like whatever country I'm coaching in. I tell them as much information as possible. I help them like, hey, here's where you go shopping for food. Here's where you do this. Here's where you get your laundry, like everything. So their housing situation, sometimes if you have rookie players, they haven't even been away from home before. So you got to help them through, and you got to kind of be a parent in a way sometimes. But I don't directly communicate with the parents. I stopped that when I was like in high school, like coaching high school, and I talked to the parents. But if a parent wants to call me and check up like on their son, stuff like that, and I'll talk. So it's not about the coaches communicating with the parents. It's usually the coach through the player.
Oh, okay. My things was freezing up, but we have a question right here. A question. Guy says, "How did Steph Marbury change international basketball, or did he? You know who that is?
Yeah.
Are we stuck? Oh, did you get the? Okay.
Are we okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So can you answer that question for him?
Yeah. So I was saying like he's from my area. He's a New York guy. He's huge in China. He was like so big because basketball is really, really popular. They go crazy for basketball in China. So they have more people watching basketball than we have the whole population of America. They got like hundreds of millions of people watching. So he really helped. Yeah, it's huge. So he helped grow the sport, not only in China, but like in the whole region. So, shout out to Steph, but he really, really helped basketball like explode in Asia.
So wait. You said that there's more people in China that watch the sport than we do.
Than the total population of America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
Let's go back. So, how much do they get paid? What's the average salary do players get paid to go play basketball in a population like China?
It depends, but those guys, making a guy like Marbury or there are veterans that have gone over there, like J.R. Smith. Who else can I name? But they're guys making like $1 million plus.
Really?
Yeah, but not. I mean,
I'm blinking out a little bit. I think we froze a little bit. Okay. Are you back, Coach? I think you froze a
I
little
see
bit.
me and I see you, Miss Karen.
Okay. So, okay. So guys say it's more appealing now to play overseas.
Okay. Yes. So not everybody makes $1 million, but you make to me, it's a lot of money. Making 6 figures is a lot of money. So.
Really?
Yeah.
So,
and then they pay, yeah.
So what is the average price of the tickets to come to the games over there in a place China?
I actually I don't know. And as a coach, you're always getting games free. It's a perk, right? So I don't know what they are. I don't know, but I don't think they're that expensive. I don't think like the average person easily could pay for it. But I think like an NBA game, like that's expensive, to be honest with you. But I think in China and other countries, it's not really that expensive. But they have, again, they have TV and all that stuff and all the advertising. So that's how they're able to pay players.
And because on the video that we saw, the arena was not that big. And I don't know if that was considered an NBA. I know you said VBA, but I don't know if that's considered on the same scale of NBA. So what is the average size of their arena as far as how many people can come in to the game to see the games?
You mean on the video that you showed of me?
Yeah, the video I showed, it wasn't that many levels of seats. It looked
Right.
almost like on like a high school level type of arena.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the country. Like some countries, like the Philippines, for their university games are.
Oh, I guess he's snapped out. I guess China. I mean, he's in Chicago, so I guess his internet snapped out. But I'm sure he'll be logging back in because this was very interesting. Okay, there he is.
Okay, got lost.
Okay.
So there are many leagues in many countries. So some will be like only 1,000 people, and then some will be like 20,000 people. So it just depends on the country and the league.
Okay.
So, like that film where you showed is probably only maybe 3,000 people or so. Yeah, and I've coached. There's a lot of professional leagues that are not. I mean, they're not on the level of NBA. So, players are making. They might make like $3,000, $10,000 a month, something like that, for lower leagues.
Well, I was just trying to compare to when you said how many people watched the game, and I was just curious on how many people are actually in the arena. Are the arenas like the Staples Centers for the Lakers that hold, 20, 40,000 people type of thing? Just as far as looking at the comparison of it. So what do you view as the hardest thing that a player has to adjust to when they come to another country? I mean, do you deal with not mental illness, but just that thing of being separate, so far away from their parents, and when something happened, like right now, if something happened to my son, I can drive to his house in 45 minutes. Whereas these kids are across in another country. What is that hard thing that most players have to deal with, adjust to when they come to and playing in another country?
Yeah, well, I think you said it. I think being away from family is the biggest thing. Being away from your culture, being away from your neighborhood. So if you, like me, if you just never went anywhere in your life and you always lived in your neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, you're going to a completely different country and your family's not there, and that's a big adjustment. So I think family's number one. And then, people miss food. You can't just go and call up Dominic's and get a pizza. You can't go here and there and just like in New York, for example, you go to a Jewish deli. If you want vegan food, soul food, Italian food, you got everything there. And then you go to a place where everyone's eating noodles every day, So you got to adjust to the culture, food and travel, how you get around the cities. It's a very big adjustment. So me as a coach, I got to be there and help the players with all these things because, it might be their first time abroad, but even if it's their 5th different country, it's going to be all new. So it's my job to help them with that. My assistants help with that. I always have staff, general manager. There's a big support group to help the players, though.
Wow. So there's not like a Albertson or Ralph grocery store or a Walmart,
No Walmart.
where we would go get those, the type of food that we, that we, wow.
Yeah.
So that
Hey,
right there.
I will tell you something. I had never been in a Walmart in my life until I came back here. Like 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, this is Walmart. They got a lot of stuff here. Like, yeah, like they don't have that in other countries. But in big cities, you get big supermarkets usually. You might not have anything as big as like Albertsons or anything like that, but there's supermarkets, and you can sometimes get some American food. I mean, like you can get spaghetti and spaghetti sauce and things like that. But it's interesting is it's cheaper to eat out at restaurants in some countries than it is to cook at home, and the players usually like to eat out. So that's one bonus. So we usually
Really?
eat good. We usually eat okay.
So, as far as a good old steak and French fries.
Some countries, like I just came from India, like you can't get a steak. I don't think. I don't know. It's like a very vegetarian country. But if you go to Philippines, they eat birds that were just born. I mean, they eat everything. so
Oh,
yeah, they eat some. Hate to say it, but some countries. I give an example. I was in Vietnam and I was with my friend, and she said, "Let's go in this restaurant." And I'm vegan, right? So, all right, and she knows I'm vegan, so we go in this restaurant, and they had like goat's brains, and I won't go into all the stuff they had, but they had some body parts that I couldn't believe people ate that stuff. It was nasty.
okay.
So,
I mean, you hear about those things
yeah,
and you just don't know if they're true or not. And
yeah,
like lately I've been seeing a video that's been going around Facebook where they were skinning the rats, and I was just like, is that really
yeah,
true?
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah. People eat insects. People eat cockroaches. Like we think cockroaches are disgusting. Right? No, they eat, like people eat some stuff in some countries that, like for us, like in America, it's like pork, chicken, beef, fish.
Fish.
Like like a few things like that. But in other countries, like they eating snakes and stuff. So it's just as different. But it's for a player, it's part of the experience though. Like a lot of times, like you go to places that you've never seen, you try things you never tried before. It's all
Oh
new
no.
experiences.
That would be one thing that I won't be trying. My money would go towards my mama sending me a trunk of dry beef, dry chicken every month, or I
And for
would be. Oh, I just couldn't do it.
and for the moms out there, for the parents, the players do miss food from the States. So if you were to send, we say care package, right? If you would send some package, they would really appreciate it. And players love to get, mail and stuff from home anyways, So for all you parents out there, like definitely you got a son or daughter playing professionally, like send them something, like if you could once a month, even if it's some little thing, like, because like you might not be able to get that product in that country where they are, what I mean? In Europe, it's easier, but in Asia, now they're going to have NBA is trying to start a league in Africa, and it's going to be very different for those players there, for example. So, so if you can, at least maybe once a month, send something. But the seasons aren't that long, usually. The seasons are a few months. The NBA is very, like 8-9 months. Japan is very long. It's like 9 months. But a lot of leagues, you play for 3 or 4 months, and you go home, and then you go back again. So sometimes you're not away from home so long.
Right. And that's good because the NBA, they have like 100-some games. I'm just like, that's a lot of games.
We play a lot. Yeah.
That's too many games for me. So and then I like it when the playoffs start. But how can you tell our parents how would a child or how would their athlete try out or what do they have to do in order to be picked up for a team to go play across board across in another country? What would they have to do?
That's a good question. The first thing I would do as a player is I try to get an agent, because an agent can contact all the different teams in different countries and find out where there's a good spot for you. It's hard as an American to get a job playing abroad if you're a smaller player, because countries already have smaller players. But if you're like 6'10", everybody's trying to get you, you know. So, but I would try to get an agent first. And what doesn't work is, like, I'm a coach and I hear from players and agents every day. I don't really want to hear from players because I can't keep up with it. And I always direct players like, hey, try to find yourself an agent and then talk to other players is another thing, and ask them, who's your agent? Or how did you get a job abroad? So players should be talking to players. And basketball world is very connected. So it's like everybody knows everybody almost. So if I'm a player, say I'm going to graduate from college or junior college or whatever, and I want to play abroad, I'm going to try and connect with guys who've been playing, friends or friends of friends. So agents, try to get an agent and try to talk to as many other basketball players as possible and ask them like how they did it and what countries they went to. But agents will help you. If you try to do it by yourself, it's difficult.
And then do you allow players to come straight out of high school to play abroad?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, it's happening more. Like, for example, in let's say Australia, for example, like there's guys, they're going to skip. There are players that are going to go from high school and skip college and go play in Australia or Europe, or they might go to the G League, for example. But it's happening. It's going to happen more and more and more. So if you have the talent and you think you can handle, you know, you have to kind of be an adult a little bit. You know, you got to handle your own business a little bit. So because you know your parents aren't going to be there for you, so you have to do things on your own. You have to kind of grow up quick sometimes. But sure, if there's a good player, there's going to be teams, and again, there is a good support system a lot of times. So I would I definitely take a guy who's talented. I'm definitely going to take him on my team, and I might have to give him a little bit extra help. If you know he's not 30-year-old man, can do stuff by himself. He's like 18. Yeah, definitely. So it can be done.
So, I just had a thought, and I just forgot it just that quick. So I saw on your Facebook page that you are a vegan. You talk about not eating meat, and I was telling the other co-hosts that I'm not a good vegetable person. So how did you get into? Have you always been a vegan, or is that something that happened when you became an adult, or how did you get into that?
Yeah, it was. So I've been vegan for about 16 years, and excuse me, and I was taking classes at Cal State. I remember I was taking a course. I was back in the States, and anyways, I went to the library and I was just reading about nutrition because I was always interested in nutrition. And then I read something that really kind of hit me, and that was we can be healthy and we don't have to kill the animals. And I was always kind of like an animal lover, you know? So I was like, oh, wait a minute. It's like, I can be healthy, don't have to kill animals, word. So I was like 1 second, I was like, okay, that was it. That was it. So
that's all it took.
Yeah, that was it. That was it. And then I met a lot of people that had been like vegan their whole lives. They had never had meat. And I was like, really? You could do that? You know, for real? And they're like, yeah, yeah. But as you study nutrition, like I'm pretty healthy. I had a cold in 2011, like a common cold. Like, I mean, I'm going to get sick. I'm going to die like everybody else, but it's really a healthy lifestyle. So for athletes, but also anybody, it's like if you haven't grown up with it and you haven't been around it, it's like anything. You have to kind of educate yourself. There's like 80,000 different foods we can eat that is not from animals, right? There's a lot of food out there, but like, you know, we're so used to in America, like fast food and the same stuff all the time. Drive-through is easy and all that stuff.
Right.
But if you look at healthy food is from plants, you know, and you get all your protein, all your, we say macronutrients, micronutrients, you get everything you need. But you got to learn a little bit, like, you know, like what should I usually eat for this? Like I'm like 6'4", 205 or something. And I got a little bit of six pack. I don't say it's 6, it's probably 4. but you know, I exercise and stuff like that, but my energy levels, you know, everything's good. So, and if you look at the athletes like Kyrie Irving's vegan, Chris Paul went vegan. There's a lot of guys, JaVale McGee, there's a lot of guys in NBA vegan, where like 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, weren't that many people, but now everybody sees the benefits. So, but it's good for everybody. So I'm like, that's why I post stuff on Facebook like, hey, athletes, you can be like Serena Williams. I mean, you can be a world-class athlete, you know, because you don't eat meat doesn't mean like you weak or something. It's like we say wives' tale, right? It's an old tale. So you can definitely be healthy, and actually it's a healthier lifestyle. It's healthier. So I encourage everybody to try it, to do it.
So what's your favorite vegan meal?
I'm not a good cook, right? So, and in other countries, it's cheaper to eat out than it is to cook at home, right? But okay, like Walmart, give you an example. In Walmart, like if you like hamburgers, there's vegan hamburgers that, like, I bet you can't tell the difference. So there's vegan hamburgers, there's chicken patties, there's all kind of stuff. There's like it tastes like ground meat, but it's really made from different
soybean.
Yeah, but like there's a lot. Like I said, there's 80,000 different things we can eat. So like I don't eat a lot of soy, but you know, okay, like milk, right? Like cow's milk. Now we have almond milk, oat milk,
right,
hemp milk, like all kind of different milks and stuff. Now there's like 20 different ones. So like today I have like almond milk and oat milk. So I, instead of having cow's milk.
Right. So do you eat a lot of noodles? Like fettuccine, pasta, spaghetti?
I eat a variety of things. So like I'm over 200 pounds. I ain't that small. Like I'm not big, but I'm not small. But I eat a variety of things. And sometimes, because I like to work out a little bit and stuff, then I have I'll take a protein shake that's pea protein and quinoa in there, and there's like a few different proteins in there, but it's all plant-based with like there's spinach in there, all this stuff like that. And I just put that with some juice, and I have like one or two of those. But I like cereal. I'm kind of like a cereal-aholic.
That's sugar.
No, I eat the healthy stuff though. So
like
thing about
granola nuts or
there's like, if you go to, again, Walmart supermarket, there's like so many cereals, it's crazy. But I don't eat Fruit Loops. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't eat Captain Crunch is good, but I don't eat it now, right? So I eat like healthy stuff. There's a Special K. It's like wheat, mostly wheat and blah blah. So like there's a Special K with 15 grams of protein in it. So like I'll have that. Raisin Bran is easy. Don't have a lot of chemicals and stuff in there. So Yeah. So again, you can eat a variety of foods, but you have to think about like, what do I like? You know. So if you like ice cream, they have ice creams now. It's like made out of coconut and some other stuff that
Right.
I don't know if you could tell the difference. I'm not sure, but
Oh, all right. So tell me about what do you do outside of basketball and animals? What else do you do?
like I said, I'm kind of coming out of the closet, so to speak, today. So I've been a Zen priest for about 10 years. So I do my meditation a couple of times a day.
Mm-hmm.
So that, that's a little bit of time. And then it depends. When I'm coaching, like I spend a lot of time coaching because my job is to win games, right? So I have a good overall record of my percentage of games that I've won. But in order to do that, like it takes a lot of work. So coaching is not a 40-hour a week job for me. It's like I'm at it like every day, all day. So I spend a lot of time scouting players, scouting teams. I might recruit players. I'm on the phone all the time with staff and the team president, the team owner, the general manager, all these people. So for professional basketball and also for college, like there's a lot to it. So when you see these coaches at like colleges and stuff here, they're spending a lot of time because if you don't put the time in, your teams are probably not going to win. How I think of it. Yeah.
Okay, you got COVID-19 going on, and one of the things I've been asking coaches is, we say ask the players what's their backup plan. What's your backup plan if you don't make it? And so now we've been asking the coaches, what is your backup plan? What if there's no more sports? What is your backup plan? What is it that you're going to do to survive financially if
Right.
coaching was the only thing that took care of your livelihood? What's your backup plan?
Right. Okay. So for me, I'm in a different situation, more unique situation, because I put on this shirt, which is like a basketball shirt, team I coached recently. But I kind of live my lifestyle as a monk when I'm not coaching. So I'm either in a temple as a monk or I do volunteer work. But if I were not in this situation, I would probably, and this is really big, we say departure from sports, I would probably get my commercial driver's license and learn how to drive a truck, because you make over $50,000, somewhere between like $60,000, $80,000 a year driving a truck. If you can do that, you're gonna be on the road a lot. But that's a job where it's in high demand right now. So if I had to provide for my family or something like that, or maybe just myself, like that's what I would do. Because there are not a lot of jobs, at least that I see, that you can't go to McDonald's, and really make a living off of that. You're not gonna be able to pay your rent. So, and I'm single. I don't have any children, that kind of thing. So I could do that. So that would be my backup plan if I wanted to make a living. But to be honest, I may never I may never be married and all that stuff. So I might be a monk and live in a temple at some point. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm not your typical American. I know that. I'm a little bit different some ways. But you're right, Ms. Karen, everyone needs a backup plan. And maybe not only a plan A, plan B, but maybe a plan C. Because there are jobs available. Like I said, transportation, big. Things like nursing, healthcare, you can always get a job if you're a nurse. So there's certain jobs I encourage people to investigate. What do you like doing? But think about, world's changed right now. So we definitely got to have the backup plans for sure.
You said that right. The world has well, the world has changed, or we're dealing with something that we've never dealt before. And I remember, I think Shannon was mentioning to me about an article that was saying that the basketball players, some basketball players, that was living check to check, since COVID-19 has come out. So have you had to encourage, or have you seen the struggles of basketball players who, they hadn't made it to the top yet? They were your probably the ones that go abroad and, just now, just making a little money to sustain themselves. But now COVID-19 hit, there's no paycheck coming in. Have you had to encourage those players or mentor those players, or, just have you had to deal with that?
Yeah, I have. It's real right now, right? So there's that exact situation you just outlined. Like, there's a lot of players who, they were playing professionally abroad and making a little bit of money, but they don't have savings, and that's a big thing. I think people need to think about savings. So, and we say it all the time in like professional sports, is like, don't go out and just blow your paycheck and buy the jewelry, buy this, buy that, and don't be throwing your money around. Like, you got to put some money away for savings. That's one thing. But I've been talking to players. A lot of people are in a tough spot, including professional athletes. They were living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, and they don't have the savings. So, I'm telling players that we're just talking about, like, think a little bit about maybe over the next couple months or few months or the rest of 2020 is like, you might have to go out and get a job before you can get back on the court again. Just try and stay in shape. I always encourage them to stay in shape, stay away from McDonald's and all that stuff. But a lot of people, myself included, like, this could be the end of the road for me. I'm not sure for basketball. Right. So I'm actually going to the DMV tomorrow to try and renew my driver's license. I just bought a car yesterday, and wow. I'm just preparing, like, I might be here for a minute. So, so we got to think about that. And it's not anything I anticipated, this is unprecedented, right? So, but I might have to live like a, different lifestyle. I might have to do something else. So I might drive a truck. I might do that. And I'll be listening to games on the radio. So, but right. a lot of people in sports, we, like, basketball has just stopped for us. So, we got to think about the ways in players, and especially, players coming out of high school, college. You might not make it professionally for one reason or another. So you got to think of, doing different things. Going back to the plan B thing.
Yeah. So what's your message as a coach? I mean, when you get these kids that are coming over, I know you have a message about, discipline as far as playing the game, but what's your life message to these players that are coming, that are under your leadership as a coach?
You have some good questions, Ms. Karen. I want to mention, excellent question. Well, the one thing that is really hard for people to understand, get their head around, is, like, we have to help others. So whether we're a basketball player, a coach, or whatever, we're doing it to, like, help people, fans. We're trying to encourage young people. We're doing a lot of things. We usually do a lot of charity work. Professional teams do a lot of charity work as well. But it's like we have to try to, come out of our egos a little bit, especially, to be honest, in America, because we're such a society that's focused on us as individuals. When you go to Japan, it's all about the team, all about the community. And if you're like, I'll put my hand up. If this is you, like the thumb, I'll put my hand up. Then Japan, they'll push you back to make sure you're together with everybody. So
wow, really?
So their culture is very focused on the group, the community. Whereas in America, it's like, what am I going to do about me? And I got to get mine. So I always try to talk to players a little bit about that. Like what are we doing to help people? What are we doing to help others? And if we can get that, into the players' heads a little bit, then, and they realize it's not all about them, then they're like, okay, I got to do this extra effort for these kids when I sign these autographs and do these selfies. I got to do this extra when we go out do community service. I got to do this little extra for this, for that, or to help my family. So I put a lot of emphasis on that.
Yeah. So when they're in the other, because I know here in the States that the basketball team, they have to do the community service and go around. Do they do the same thing? And when they're in the other countries, have to do show up for the hospitals and all the little community, the community work that like we do here in the States? Do they do that abroad?
Not always, but often. I'll say it that way. Like not every team does all that, but like for me, like I always go to my owner, or when I think I'm going to sign a contract for a team, I'll ask them that. I'll say, besides basketball, what else are we going to do? Are we going to go to Children's Hospital? Are we going to go to the senior center? Like, what else are we going to do? And sometimes they didn't even think about it because they're so focused on, basketball, right? But we always end up doing something. I don't have it written in my contract, but I usually have like kind of a verbal agreement with owners that, hey, we're going to do this. And even sometimes we do it out the owner. I'll just say, hey, look, I want to take my players. We're going to go out on the outskirts of the city to some village, and we're going to bring food to this like center or something. But a lot of teams do try to do something in the community because it also helps, to be honest, it also helps with the, the branding of the team and stuff. It looks good, right? Of course.
Right.
But a lot of teams are sincere and trying to give back to the community helps a lot. So hopefully players are, again, if you have a young players like 18, 20 years old, just coming in, it's like, hey, we're going to do this other stuff too. It's not just about basketball. We got to kind of help a little bit. Because to be honest, like that video you showed, like I'm famous throughout the country, not superstar, but like, when I'm in the gym jogging on the treadmill, I'm watching myself on the video, like people see me, recognize me. Players even more, because, they might be 6'8" with long dreads that people have never seen before. It's like, you got to kind of carry yourself a certain way too, right? And when you're in the community, it's like you can do a lot to help people. Sometimes it's small things, but it goes a long way sometimes. You should see how excited people get when they see like basketball players and stuff out there. Like they're superstars, some of those players.
Wow. Excuse me, but this has been great. And I appreciate you coming on and us having to reschedule and us, just talk about the life of players abroad. Wait, so have you ever met Stephen Curry?
No, I actually used to work for Golden State back in the day, but it was before he got to the team.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I never met him. Yeah, I met most of the people I knew there. Like they sold the team to new owners, and switched out a lot of people in it. And also in sports, it's a revolving door. There's a lot of movement. People change jobs all the time. And like I said, in the last year and a half, I've been in like 5, 6, I don't know how many countries. I lose count sometimes. Like even if you're in the NBA, like there's a lot of turnover, staff, everything. But anyways, I want to say it's been a pleasure. When I first saw your logo, and when people ask me for an interview, I don't do all of them. It just depends on what it is. And I saw your logo. I was like, is that a shoe? Is that a pump? Is it sports talk? Right? Like, is that And then I saw what you were doing, and I was like, oh, these are like sports moms, and they're trying to like help, parents and young athletes and stuff. I was like, okay, I got to do that one, So that's a good show. Yeah, I really want to do it. So I'm sorry about India. My Wi-Fi connection wasn't working, like a month ago, but I really appreciate coming on. And, if people want to contact me, not for jobs, I don't have any, but but to talk about, meditation. I actually right now stay at Niles Meditation Center in Niles, Michigan. And people you can come for free, learn how to meditate and stuff. It's a coronavirus and stuff like that, but so it's only me and this one monk from Thailand, but Niles Meditation Center. But there's there's a lot of talk shows out there, but you are unique. You ladies are unique, so I appreciate you having me on.
Oh,
you have a great sense of humor. It's fun watching you too. You're always laughing.
Now I'm coughing. I'm coughing now.
Yeah.
But,
so when you go vegan, that won't happen anymore. You'll be good.
Is that what it is?
No, I lied. You'll still cough, baby.
I mean, normally, I don't get the flu or anything. I'll just get a bad cough, and it just keep going. And I went to the doctor and everything, and I went and had the COVID-19 test. It came back negative, but I just have this little cough in it. But I do definitely need to eat more vegetables. I definitely. My grandmother and them, we raised a lot of vegetables, and for some reason, I never liked the fresh taste of vegetables. I cook my vegetables to death, my husband said, and so I didn't like the crunchiness of it, and so it's I eat the same vegetables all the time, but I need we've been doing some episode about doing something new, and so I am going to try to eat more vegetables. Matter of fact, I had a fried. It was a fried mushroom, but it tastes like a piece of chicken.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, it's a place here in DeSoto. It might be not a Chinese something like
Vietnamese?
that. Yeah. And so he's famous for his mushroom fingers or something like that. And he fries it, a mushroom, he fries it, and it has a little dipping sauce, and it tastes like chicken. I'll try that every now and then. Yes.
Well, there's such a variety of things we can eat that people don't know about because we get used to eating the same stuff. But just explore, experiment, and just try different stuff, and you'll find stuff you like. You'll find healthy stuff you like.
That's not me. I don't like. I'm narrow-minded. I don't like trying stuff my mama never introduced me to. Like we did not eat broccoli. Even though we grew our vegetables and stuff, we did not know anything about broccoli. I didn't know anything about broccoli until I moved to California, and I might have been 21 years old or something. And so and so my mind has been closed-minded to, well, I only eat what my mama introduced me to. And so now I'm trying to step out into it. I just now had cauliflower probably about 2 years ago, and I had it in the form of a tater tot. That was the only way I could get past of a cauliflower looking white and all them little spectacles. It was a tater tot. And so I made it, and I put some turkey meat with taco seasoning on it, and put that on top of it, and then you put a can of Rotel and cheese, and I baked it, and it was good, and that was the only way I could get past eating cauliflower. You have to camouflage it for me.
There were some things I didn't like either, but one thing you could try, there is a lot of fake meat stuff. There's fake turkey, fake chicken, fake, but it's made out of healthy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And if you try like if you try 10, there might be some you don't like, but there's usually some you will like.
Yeah.
Like I said, I try to eat a variety of stuff, and there's a lot of vegetables I never heard of, and I go in the supermarket, it's like, what's that? You know, like, okay, let me try it a little bit. You just try to experiment a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
pleasure.
So when COVID-19 get out and if you end up on a team in the United States, let me know. Or maybe the sports
Okay.
mom can come and be rooting for you on the side from the stands. So let us
I
know.
might coach in the States. I don't know what's going to happen, right? But I guarantee you that if I'm coaching here and you're in the area, you know, we get you some tickets. You know, you and the ladies come by for sure. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
awesome.
coach
Awesome.
somewhere, I hope, but we'll see.
All right then. Well, blessings to you, and thanks for coming on the show. And this is Karen, and this is Can We Talk Sports. I think my other sports moms, they bailed out on me, but that's okay. I love you too, girls. All right, Coach Lee. See you later.
Thank you, Nicole. Take care now.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye bye.